Hello everybody, I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or a great night, and let's get started. So in this video, I will try to put together everything that we do know and the things that we are speculating about because we can measure what we can't see, okay? So this is basically about the utility run. So one of the key problems that we have is that some people are trying to put the utility run into the run that we have right now, okay? And we don't have any evidence that suggests that that's how it is going to happen, okay? And one thing that we learned through all these years is before gains, there is always pain. Pain first, then gains, because otherwise it would be too easy, too simple for, let's say, people who have no idea what they are doing to make money. And we do know that that's not how the markets move. That's not how it works. Okay. So I don't have a script. So I will start to talk about some things and then I'm engaging to others as they came to my mind. Okay. So the first thing, like I said before, XRP. I said XRP is the jack of all trades, and this is true. This is a fact. What does it mean? It is not just a name. XRP is the only one who will have its run that is market development, so natural growth, aside of utility. So the natural run, the one that we are seeing right now, is the normal, the standard behavior, development, speculation, then ETFs, so on and on and on. So this is one run. Okay, so let's call this ETF, ETP, speculation, normal run. The next one is going to be utility run, when FANGs, volume, will change price. So it won't be about people speculating, buyers and sellers, none of this stuff. That's why XRP is unique on its way. Of course, there are other projects that are that will benefit from real utility. Yes, but XRP, it is fair to say that can be the first. Since the early days, I still remember back in 2016, people saying, "Oh, it's the banker's coin, this and that." No, it is not. Okay, but people will say whatever they want to say. So it's a old project and it's growing, growing, growing. We have only good news day after day, and the time will come. Now the question is when we are going to have the utility run. Nobody knows, right? So again, the mother of all mistakes. Let's make some draws here. So I believe I am bearish about 2026, 100% bearish. And we don't know how long this run can last. We don't know. Okay. So let's say Joe say, well, XRP is going to reach 3 digits. Is he right? Yes, he's right. But he's wrong about the time. I strongly believe we are not going to see 3 digits in this run. But it doesn't mean it is not going to happen. So we have a double-edged knife here, and this is very, very complicated. That's why you guys have to take notes and plan ahead, because this is going to be tough. Okay, if you wait too long, you may end up losing. You may being too early in selling, you may lose a lot of profits. So there is this equilibrium, but we can see it. So it is going to be very, very complicated. We that are, let's say, in the, we call the winners club, let's say, it's only 8 to 7% of people who are really, really profitable in the whole markets all over the world. So, and there is this 1 or 2% that constantly changes. You see, ones that are on top lose it, and some that are below join it. And it's something that you may say it is not a spot that you won. You only have the right to participate. And to be, let's say, a old member in this club, you gotta be successful. And you need a high win ratio. That's the thing. And all of it, it's not easy. Okay. So what scammers do? Scammers will always say to you, they will try to grab you by greedy. You are going to make a lot of money. Here, this model, this program will make you make a lot of money. So this is the scammer's way. We that do this for real, that have money on the table, what we are going to tell you, this is tough. This is very complicated. It is not easy, and there is a high chance for you to lose everything if before investing or trading you don't get yourself educated first. It's like this. Someone who is going to buy a Ferrari but doesn't have the driver license, it is going to crash the Ferrari. So what do you want to do? You want to get your driver license before getting the Ferrari. You see, that's the point. So I am 100% bearish about 2026. And right now, we do know that we are running out of time. This is a fact, okay? So how much time right now we have? Around 6 months. In 6 months, what we can expect or what we can achieve? These are two very different things, okay? So I have a, I don't like to say a card, but I have a last resort. Let's say I have one last move that I can make into the view, the way I see things, and all these things together with time and strength that we can measure what could be possible. You see, so this is what technical analysis really is. We try to work with incomplete information, then we try to make the best out of it. So this is the way of technical analysis. Sometimes it is crystal clear, other times it is not. So it is our work to try to have the best, not the normal. We want to have the best understanding possible to make the right choices. And right choices is about getting a lot of money or losing a lot of money. So this is the point. It is very important. After all these months since the run in November, we have, it is fair to say we have a lot of consolidation right now. This is a fact. It's happening. We have left 6 months. Okay, 6. We do know that most of the times between June, July, and a little bit of August, it's bullish across all markets. Okay, so this we know by a matter of fact. We also know that April and May are usually bearish. We also know that August and September and a small part of October are bearish. And bearish, I'm not talking about the trend changing. I'm talking about corrections. Okay, remember, in a bull market, we will always have corrections. This doesn't make a change in the trend or a bear market. Oh, wow. No. That's not what happens. Corrections are healthy and they always happen. So with this 6 months, how I see it today, right now, the moment I'm recording this video, the way I see is that we can resume upside movement late this month, late June, up July, partial August. So let's say between the 2nd week or 3rd week of August. Then there is a brief pause before going down, September, maybe a little bit of October, more consolidation before continuation. That's the triple C. Remember, correction, consolidation, continuation. This is the law, folks. That's how it develops. If I am right about this scenario, if this is the way it is going to happen, the correction plus consolidation will last less than 2 months, less than 3 months. So usually that's how it happens. Well, maybe can be. So let me give you one example. And I was looking to this many times. Just a second. Okay, so let me give you one example here. It's 2017. So just give me a moment. Also, another thing, always remember, just because it happened in a way in the past, it doesn't mean it will repeat in the future. Okay, so there's a lot of people who copy the past and try to say that that's how it is going to happen, and that's not true. Never happens like this. Okay, so let's go from the break, which is not the bottom. The bottom is right here. Okay, it was $156. So let's go for the break. It started in April, top on March, April, May, it's usually bearish. So May, it continued to go up. The first big correction that we saw was from June, then half July, then continuation till August, down to September, and then resumed continuation. Okay, so once again, I'm not saying that this time it is going to happen like this. What I'm showing you is how this development can happen based on previous history. Okay, they are two different things. For example, as you guys take a look here, this was a perfect rising wedge, which is bearish. But even though Bitcoin continued to go up and was up big time, so from $7,000 to $19,000, it's a lot. Okay, and one of the reasons is it is not the patterns that move the market, it's the timing of the markets that will make people keep engaged in the specific asset or market or whatever. Okay, so what we have to take a look into XRP right now is how strong, how fast things will be. Okay, so now back to XRP. Okay, so if, oh, and by the way, usually January, February, and March are bearish, usually. For example, for Dow Jones and etc. So not long ago, a few months ago, I made a study from the first day of Dow Jones till the current day, the day that we were at. And not many people did this. So, of course, I'm going to have a much better understanding than those that never did such a thing. Okay? And so, again, we don't have a lot of time. January, most of the times is bearish. Okay? February is completely awful. In 2026, which it's a bad year. Okay? There is a lot of bad things happening right now that are starts to have we start to see some of the results in 2026, or let's say the impact of things that were done this year into the next, and so on and on and on and on. Once again, if we get this right, there is a big chance that we can make the best out of it, and this is very important, folks. July, August, part of August, September. So September, so far, since I started to record cover the harvest season, I was 100% spot on since the first video to the last. 100%. This year, there is a big chance that we are going to be right again. But I don't think it is going to be a big deal, because the stronger we go up, it's a strength that we can measure. So we can measure momentum. We know there is momentum building, but we can measure what we can see. So after it happens, some people call wave 3. There is one thing into Elliott waves theory that it's impressive that the zigzag experts still don't understand. It is that wave number 3, oh, and by the way, probably because they never figure out the waves properly, that's probably why they will never understand this. Wave number 3 is the most powerful and profitable in the whole setup. So wave number 3 can't be the same as wave number 1 or wave number 5. Can be, can't, never, can't. Okay, so please forgive me. Let's go for the quick example here. And by the way, let's use XRP as an example, because I don't know why we still have people struggling to understand the previous setup that we had on XRP. So I'm going to explain to you guys one more time. We measure the point number 1 or point number 0. It starts counting after the break. That's it. It's simple as that. I do understand part of the struggle is that people can't acknowledge waves properly. Not waves, forgive me. Structures, patterns. They can't read pivots. They can't. They don't understand the nature of pivots, which one to pick, etc. And they can't do it right because they never acknowledge the break. They go always for the before. And one structure doesn't communicate with the other. This is part of the secret about this. You have one that is A, or let's say June, and then you have other that is Mars. They don't connect to each other. So you can link the in-between of one with the in-between of other. They are different things. So let's do this. What is the breakpoint for XRP in 2017? The breakpoint is right here. The very end to the break. So this is 0. Where is the first set of pivots? It's in between. Can you see? It's in between. So that's the first point of, let's say, first correction. This is the second. This is the correction. This is the second. This is the pivot. Then we go for wave number 3, the most profitable. Then there is another correction followed by consolidation and continuation, triple C. Again, correction. Let's do this better. Wave number 3, correction, consolidation, and continuation. Just a second, folks. Okay, so this is a perfect setup, okay? And one of the mistakes that most people will do, the vast majority talking about Elliott waves theory, is they will keep trying to find it all the time. But here is the thing, it's a theory. Sometimes it will not be there, or it is not going to be clear, or you can't get all the pivots together in order to have a proper setup. So we have two different things. Let me try to break this to you. We have Elliott waves theory for scholars, people that like to study, to understand it. But It is just like the Big Bang. It's only a theory. It's a point of view, but doesn't reflect the reality, right? So for example, in science, we have the law, which is consolidated, not up to a dispute. Then we have a theory, and then we have thesis. Okay, so Elliott wave, it's a theory. It is not a law. This is very, very important for people to understand because scholars will try to draw subwave, prime wave, zigzag this, zigzag that, bang, bang, boom, boom, boom. But they can't use this information to make money. That's why they don't quit their job and try to make a living from markets using their Elliott waves understanding. What we do and what we do know is that we have this method. It's easier. It is a, let's say, compact version that make things very, very simple to operate and to make real money with this knowledge. So once again, we have scholars and we have professional people. Okay, professional people use this knowledge to make money. Scholars use this knowledge just to say, oh, I'm a student of Elliott wave theory. Still a theory. Okay, and you can make a living out of a theory alone. Okay, so this is just one example because I do know there's a lot of people who still can't understand this. This is the perfect setup that we had in the past. Okay, are we going to have another setup like this? There is no way to know. It is impossible. Nobody can forecast a perfect setup, Elliott setup. It's impossible. And everyone trying to do this, it's a full wasting time and energy. Okay. Another thing about Elliott waves, we are only going to measure what we have, not what we don't have. So let me give you another example. So let's say today is right here, where XRP is right now, okay? So I'm going to, let's pretend none of this happened. Okay? Forget that this already happened. Can we measure wave number 3 or the next upside leg, whatever you want to call it? You don't have to call wave 3, okay? It's frustrating because most people talk about it and they don't understand it. So let's say the next upside leg, continuation. Could we measure it? Somewhat yes, maybe not. It's complicated. It's not easy at all, okay? But so the next leg we are going to have for XRP, two things can happen and two things only. The first is if there is a lot of strength and firepower, insane firepower, then we can say, okay, hold a moment. There's a lot of strength here. Is this enough? Are we going to stop here? It is one point. It is one view of probabilities. Okay. So for example, what if we reach $21 or 20 or 25, whatever, in this next upside leg? You see, it's a lot of firepower. Then we have another question. Is this over because we reached a number that we have in mind, a forecasted number, a expectation based on growth and etc.? Or there is even more room? And so it's a very thin line that mistakes can be made and that can be brutal. So that's why I always say to people, don't hold into a single number. Because, for example, I talked about the possibility in one video, the possibility of 34 and 55. And some people grab it. Oh, it is going to happen. It has to happen. No, folks. It is one scenario. In that scenario, what I explained, if there is a lot of firepower, if, we don't know, if, it's only a if. We don't know. We can measure what we can have. And until the next leg plays out completely, there is no way to measure this. It is simple as this. So I don't try to make things complicated. I try to make things easier. So please don't hold into numbers that we can't verify. It is simple. Okay? So why I recorded 2 forecasts for XRP and I said I have doubts, I have questions, because the utility run, it is going to be 3 digits strong 3 digits, but it is not going to happen now. It's very, very unlikely. Can happen, yes, but it's very, very unlikely. And so 30, 40, and 55. So let's say if we get, one example, 25, 21, then there is a correction and enough time for consolidation before continuation, then yeah, maybe, then we maybe can look into 34, 55, but it depends on the next leg up and the time it will take for it all to continue to go up or going down, and that's it. So we are heading to this Rubicon, to this 50-50% realm. We are heading to it. So I do understand, in the knowledge, the experience that I have, that we are in a mix of probabilities range. I'm not holding to numbers. And I have a lot of interest here. I have money in the table. So I'm not joking. This is not for entertainment. Okay? Oh, and by the way, this is going to be the only video I ever will ask you guys to not share. Please do not share this video. Don't comment about this video with other people, because I'm not going to explain to you guys why today, but I'm going to explain to you into the near future. So things in the crypto market are changing a little bit, and we're starting to have a totally different behavior from what we had in the past. Okay? And I do know, and this is a fact, that there are some key people in the crypto market, and not only the crypto market, that are being countered by the, let's say, market makers. Okay, so basically they pick what we do know, what we call, what we talk about, and then they are going to twist it, change it. So I do understand that is a way for the market to protect itself. How I know this? Because we have a perfect trading setup that works. It's profitable. We can make a lot of money out of it. But we started to notice changes, like traps. And these traps fall into everything that we've been doing so far for all these years. It is not coincidence. It is not, and I know it. I know it because I traded non-stop daily for like 2-3 years, if I'm not wrong. And things were very, very different. Very easy for those who had the knowledge. But today, it's changing. And it is not for the best, or things are not getting easier, they are getting harder. Okay? So don't share. Eyes only, keep to yourself. Using the same principle that we just talked about on XRP in this moment. This was the 0 moment for XRP. Right now, we do have pivot number 1, okay? And then we have pivot number 2 right here. So is this bullish? Yes, it is bullish. One of the reasons is we have correction. Right now we have consolidation, And very soon we are heading to continuation. It's steps. How we do know that we are in the consolidation phase? Because we have very little volatility, very little interest, people are bored, and people start to not talk about it. It's a frustration point, let's say, okay? And the markets can go flatline. They never go flatline. So this is a thing that we can say it is 100% true, can go flatline. So once again, we are just one step before the very midway, or let's say the battle of midway. And we still can get that evidence to make calls. That's why I recorded 2 videos, one talking about one scenario and other talking about other scenario, because they are not clear. I can put these things together with only partial information. Okay, so if I record before, one of the reasons I'm doing this is first to get everything documented, to then say, okay, so I did it. It's part of my work. The second is to help people, because just for guys to understand, when I started back in 2016 was only to learn about what is a crypto, what is a wallet, what is blockchain. And only in 2017, I had the money in the table. But I didn't had any, let's say, not even close to professional knowledge, not even close. And the struggle was real, okay? So I made a promise to myself that I would learn. And if possible, I would become a professional. And I will try to help people that were struggling just like I was back in the day. Because back in the day, folks, we had a lot of buffoons recording videos with nonsense, like nonsense analysis, day after day. So people making analysis out of oscillators, indicators. It is not even about price development. It's insane. And today things are not different. Okay, so these are my goals. First, leave everything documented, part of my work. Second, try to help people that are looking for knowledge to be able to do, to reach, to make the best out of this market in the end, right? So for me, this is going to be the end. As you guys can see, I'm not young anymore. And I showed retired already 2 years ago, just before my dad passed away. And I still don't know if this was a wise choice or not, but here I am, right? So I can't complain at all. It is far better than working for someone out there, right? So I'm making a living out of this since 2017. Day after day, it is more than 75,000 hours looking at charts, the markets, and news day after day, non-stop. Okay, so 2 forecasts for XRP. One, it's a conservative scenario, $20 range. Why? It's a scenario that if we don't have a lot of momentum, a lot of firepower, then we can expect $20 range. I'm being conservative, okay? So please pay attention in the words. We can expect. It doesn't mean it's going to happen just because we saw it, okay? People that hold dear to some numbers are those who are influenced by their power of suggestion, okay? Power of suggestion is something very, very dangerous. You gotta acknowledge this and get rid of it, okay? It's something that you gotta do. Very, very dangerous. So in the other scenario, 34, 55, whatever, $40 range, it's for a lot of firepower and a lot of momentum. Again, we can measure this. We can. What I need it's a solid plan, whatever the scenario it is going to play out. Okay, this is very, very important because for example, people who have 5, 10, 15, 1000k XRP, it's not a problem. You can just go there, sell, and be happy. But for other people, a small number of people, it's a struggle. Okay, because even at OTC, you will have a limit, a monthly limit. It is not something like a black card. There you have all the unlimited funds to buy or to sell. Doesn't work like this. Okay, so you can only grow, expand your limit once you make more and more trades into the over the corner OTC. Okay, so it is something. It's something that we needed, but it's not that simple. Okay, there is a struggle there. So that's why we gotta try to figure out the best time, because it will never be the perfect time, right? To make the best out of it. So another thing that I wanted to talk with you guys is after the recent news from the trial, it is fair to say that the trial will only end later this year or early 2026. Okay, and at this point in time, and also by the way things happen in the trial, I'm 100% sure that both parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, are delaying on purpose. They agreed to it. They are together in this. So think about it. Let's say, I don't know, let's say institutions or big fellas, or let's say the new standard, ISO 222, etc., Swift, whatever, are going to use all the potential of XRP after regulations. We are also talking about what? The utility run. You see? So remember what I said, a normal run right now, speculation, Joe buying, selling, some institutional people, a normal run. Then the next, if this is true, real utility after the trial is over, then that's how it is going to happen. We have a normal run. Things get bad, let's say, by early 2026, and then we go down. And then the trial is over. Things are set for, let's say, this moment right now. Let me try to, just a second. Okay, so let's call this XRP, by the way, was right here back in the day. Okay. And also we have another very interesting thing. We have, we are going for, no, we already have. This is 1, this is 2, and this, yes, that's a perfect setup if we consider what we can't see. So XRP early days went up to 2014-17 range. First correction. Then the second move, which was the one from 2017. And now we are heading to the third. So this makes a perfect macro setup. And this setups ends with a monster break. So this I'm talking to, I'm explaining to literature. Okay, playing by the book. That's it. Just explaining to you how it works after it unfolds. Again, I'm not making an assumption because I don't know when the trial and utility will kick in. Okay, so we could see like a flash crash, bang, and then right after trial's over, they already paved the way, new system on, turn the switch, bang, utility. You see, and that's where the trap will be, in my opinion. Okay, but again, it is just my opinion. I'm just trying to figure all these things out. What else we can consider here? Oh, by the way, there are some people who are going to do this. And why this is not accurate? First, in the very, very early stages, we see absurd, crazy, insane gains. Yes, in the early stages, yes, because there is little liquidity, there is little, it is not popular, only a few people know about it. These ones who know make the most money, okay, in the early stages. And so every time we have a big run, the percentage for gains of these runs start to decrease, not to increase. Okay? This is playing by the book. I'm just telling you what literature says to us. So, for example, and by the way, this is the mother of mistakes Bitcoin people are doing. They expect, so let's say the first run, it's let's say 500%. Okay, then they expect the next to be 700, and then the next 900, and then the next 1 and 300. So this creates what? Not a parabolic move. It creates a hyperbolic move, which is totally insane. And by the way, it is the signature of bubbles. Okay, but again, it is not what we have. What we have for Bitcoin right now, just for you guys to have an idea, is this. Let's say right now, from the recent past to today, we have a 200, then another 200, then another 200. It's linear. Bitcoin growth, it's linear and very limited. One of the reasons is because the risk right now, it's starting to become greater than the reward for those purchasing physical coins. Those buying it, please forgive me, this was crazy. Those buying or engaging into ETPs or ETFs have no problem because it's worth what you have. And by the way, if back in the day I had access to ETPs or ETFs in XRP, I would purchase those ETFs instead of physical coins. Okay, so yeah, it's one less thing to be worried or concerned about. So all this being said, I believe that until XRP utility kicks in, all we are going to see is a decline into potential gains like the ARC. Let me tell you, it's kind of a log curve. Okay, kind of. So for this run, it would be something like this. If I'm right, I don't know, but if I am, $20 range for this run. This is a conservative number. Okay, so sometimes we can engage in a conversation about, well, I'm expecting $20 or so into this run, but I don't know we are going to reach $500. And then we'll say, what you're talking about? You're talking about 20 and then 500? What is gonna be? What is it? That's what is it's very important that we have to split these two events because they're not the same. If we read both as one, it's a mistake. big mistake. But if we split them because they are separate events, then we are probably going to be able to make the best out of it. Okay? So let's draw another line here, just for the sake of the example. And let's say, I'm not making a call, I'm just speculating here, just trying to figure out. So let's say I'm right on $26 in this run. Which, by the way, right now, after I recorded my forecast, right now there's a lot of people talking about $26. They are giving up the $8, which I do know it is 100% wrong, because the one who came with this idea doesn't have any idea what he's doing in his charts. And he's been wrong time and time and time, again and again and again. It's insane. Okay, but so $26, right? Let's say I'm right about this. Then we go down, we don't know how much. Could be like $5. To be honest, I'm not going to I probably said a wrong number about 5, because 5 it's above where we are right now, and this is not support and resistance. Okay, so let's say $3 or $2, whatever. It is going to be close. It is not going to be a big deal. And even if we look here, it would be 92% correction. This is going to scare a lot of people, a lot. And also one of the reasons is because we have the 50% cut. It's a cut. They only believe, they want that to happen, because the only reason is because they miss it. Or they sold their XRP, or I don't care what they did, they miss it. That's why they want 50 cents back so hard. Okay? So let's say this scenario is true. Right here. Okay? And let's say this is enough for the utility run to start. Forgive me. So this is the utility run. If we count each single event, we have the upside target for this run. Then we have ahead of us a global economic crash, probably short-term recession. And then we have, I don't know if it is going to be the recovery of all of it that will unfold. Just a second, folks, my throat's killing me. Okay, so we will have this global problem, but pay attention here. Everything that they are doing today, the changes, they are paving the way for what's coming. So they will have the solution at hand to implement it, and then things will be like okay. And this is huge, but it's another event that we can forecast the dates they are going to happen. So that's saying about overnight. You guys remember this? I strongly believe that this overnight event will be after the crash. After. Because to have a solution, we need a problem. So we can't have the solution right now. We don't have a problem. I mean, the problem is everywhere. But we still don't have the crash, headlines, and whoever created this problem. Because another thing is that they will never tell the public what was the real problem, or who created this problem. We do know it's politicians and their stupid taxation, changing taxes every other day. We never have a security to do our business. So for 4 years it's one thing, the other 4 is totally different thing. It's completely awful and disgusting. We don't have security to do anything these days, especially if you live in a socialist, communist country. Okay, I wanted to say more things, but I can't. So if we once again, if we break into 3 events, this run is one event. The global economic disaster or crash is the second event. And XRP utility run that is related to this change, to the level playing field, to digital money, it's the solution that was already implemented, and then they will flip the switch. That's why we talk about different numbers from different events. Okay, so in my opinion today, this is big probability on how things can unfold. Okay, if something changes or get invalidated, then I will come back, reevaluate the situation, and try to make sense about it. And folks, by the way, this is probably the first time in history that we are going through an event like this. Let me give you another example. With digital cash, people won't be able to rush, storm banks to get their money out of banks. You see? With digital cash, and there is a crash or a collapse, people will have to stay at home and they will keep purchasing, expanding through online purchase services, whatever. It's a preparation, folks. And also, another thing, there is a big movement behind bonds, government debt. I'm talking about the federal government debt, not about a small city or just one state. No, we are talking about the federation, the whole, the number that matters. And this is also one of the reflexes of this change. So just for you to have an idea, as soon as things start to collapse, deflation will happen because we will have more sellers than buyers. This is economic 101. And in this scenario, when we have more sellers than buyers, people will hold their money because they know that tomorrow and next week or next month, they can make a better move or they will have more purchase power. It is the continuation of inflation. Inflation or hyperinflation followed by deflation, that is the readjustment of all things. It is also related to the monetary expansion. So for example, inflation, it is not created by the price of groceries to going up. The price of groceries going up, it's a reflex of monetary expansion. And don't be deceived, every single country in the world is increasing their monetary balance sheet, if I can say. Okay, so some people will hate, oh, the United States is printing, your country is printing as well. China is printing 3-4 times more than the United States and nobody's saying anything. Russia is so deep in debt that nobody still can properly figure out how long it will take for them to recover from this war. So it's a lot of problems. And these problems are everywhere. And all the communists, socialists, leftists are ruining this world. This impact, it's yet to be seen as well. So it is, of course, we can see some of it into the short term, but it is going to be the next year that all those things are going to converge. Okay? And it is fair to say, remember, United States, Ripple, XRP, the United States still is the one in charge. In the near future, it is not going to be, but so far it is. It feels like that this new system, the level playing field, if we may call it, it's kind of a new Bretton Woods, or let's say a another major event that will favor the power remaining to the United States. Okay, so they call the cards, they are controlling the game, and they're making the change. So they're developing and presenting the means to make this barrier system to correct these problems. So yeah, and yeah, there is one model that suggests that we are only going to see a recovery back in 2032, if I'm not wrong. So this would be 6 years of pain. And here's the thing. It's impossible for any market out there, especially today, to survive all this time making lower highs and lower lows. Think about it. So 6 years, let's say triple C, 6 years, top, correction, consolidation, continuation. 6 years. Probably most of the business out there, especially big companies. Please forgive me, folks, just a second. So they wouldn't be able to survive or to thrive or to capitalize to make their thing, so their product or their services. So there is something, in my opinion, that is disconnected about this 6 years period of time. But the same rules we had for upside, let's say momentum and firepower, the same is true when going down. Is there momentum like a tremendous, enormous red candle? This would short time for, let's say, 6 years. So imagine this. What is the difference between going down straight 20,000 points in, let's say, 1 year, and the difference between going down the same 20,000 points in 6 years? So you see, that's what we, the event that we try to break with momentum and firepower. Once again, companies and businesses wouldn't be able to survive all this long, such a long correction. That's why I think they're going to fix it and open the doors. So let me give you another example. It is just a lot, and I know it's a lot of information, but let's go. After the COVID crash, what we had? 0 interest rates. Why? That was cheap access to liquidity, which means if you are in the United States, and folks, God bless the United States. Why? The opportunities you have in the United States, I bet my shoes you don't have in the country you live. I can tell you this because in the country I live, it sucks. Socialism, communism, leftism, it sucks. They don't leave room for people to make money. So you will be always a perpetual slave. God bless America. So imagine you being able to raise 1 million, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, 10 with 0 interest rates, folks. What you're going to do, it's the perfect storm. You pick all this money, you throw it in the market soared after 0 interest rates. You would make a lot of money and still pay your debt. It's fantastic. So I do believe that this level playing field event, it is going to create something similar, but there is a crossroads, because we won't be able to have 0% interest rates in this next event. Now think about, if I'm right and interest rates will go up big time, but they are going to free a lot of money. So nostro vostro and expensive fees, annual transaction values, and it's a few $1 trillion. Now imagine all these few $1 trillion getting out of the box and straight into the hands of people who know how to make things happen. It's a continuation into a scenario that should be bearish, but we still can see some growth, even in, let's say there is a desert, but over we know there is grass. Okay, so for a short period of time, we could see interest rates high as 16, 18%. And remember, bonds will go up. If bonds will go up, the dollar will go up, and interest will go up. So this is the triad. Okay, what is the triad? Interest rates controls the value of the dollar. Then we have the dollar, and then we have US bonds, which is tied to these two guys right here. The triad. It's very powerful, folks. The inverted correlation that we do know is when risk assets and stocks, Dow Jones, for example, SPX, so on, are up, the dollar, interest rates, and bonds are usually down. So they are one against the other. We can have all of them having the same nature. They don't move together. Okay, so we do know XRP is very, very into this. We know Ripple is taking over everything, folks. Come on. Stable coins, bonds, T-bills minted into the XRPL, Crossroad, ETFs, ETPs, all the sort of stuff, the whole alphabet of things into this. And this is huge. And then you may say, well, but there is fantastic news, but nothing is happening today. Paving the way. So, for example, how can people walk the sidewalk if there is no sidewalk? First, we are going to pave the way, create a sidewalk. Then people will see, oh, there's a sidewalk here. Let me go to the sidewalk. You see? That's how I see these things right now, today. Okay? So, folks, I know it's frustrating to see this will go up, then we go down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and there is nothing new. It's frustrating. It's boring. I do know. I feel it, just like you guys. But the difference is I don't let these emotions take over my judgment. So when I'm pissed off, one of these days that I know I will be 100% emotional, I go outside, I'll go to the gym, I will watch a movie or a documentary. So for example, I love volcanoes, and there is a pretty interesting story about it, which one day I will tell you guys. Do something else. Just forget it. And when you're empty of your emotions, when the logic fills the gap of emotions, come back. And then you start to look at it again. That's how I try to do this, especially after all these years. Your patience grow, but your tolerance also grow as well. So and also the frustration. So it's a mix. It is not easy, and not everybody have the guts or the patience to do this or to be part of this. And don't judge me bad here. I do know the struggle is real and it is hard and it's tough. It's complicated, especially if you need the money. That's even worse. I do know. I've been through all of it in these years. Okay. And it is something that I'm not going to complain about, because thanks to all these experiences that I was able to learn. And when we learn, it makes a brighter future, right? When we have the knowledge. And if there is one thing that I can tell you guys right now that may help you into this journey is, once again, hard choices, easy life. Easy life, hard choices. Right now we are into hard choices. This is hard. This is not easy, and this is not for everybody. Okay, I do know. I understand this and I feel it in my bones. Okay, so yeah. So folks, I believe I covered everything that I had to talk about with you guys about this. I don't believe I missed anything here. If I missed something, then I'll make another video to engage and to talk about it again. It's 1 hour long, this video. It's a lot of information to digest. Maybe you guys are going to pause and or just move forward. I mean, I'd raise the speed, and it will be only 30 minutes. It's probably better. Also, you guys know English is not my native language, so it takes some time for me to put things together. It's also not easy, but I'm learning and improving. That's great. Okay, so folks, please remember, don't share, don't talk about this with others. Keep to yourself, eyes only. Let's make it our secret, at least until we see the length of the next leg upside, the upside leg. Okay, so guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for your patience, thanks for your support, thanks for the kind messages. You guys are fantastic. And the things you can do to support me, drop a like. You can do this for free. It will only take 1 second of your life. And subscribe. This is very important for this channel as well. It is not for me, but for the channel it is. Maybe in the future, people will come back and watch these videos and say, whoa, there is something that I can learn here and for free, right? So guys, thanks again. You guys are amazing. And let's wait for this next upside leg. Then we can celebrate, make some gift wars and have some fun, right? It's time to have some fun. And we are very, very, very close. Okay? So thanks again. I will see you guys soon. Stay safe. See ya.